All right, my friend, let's take a look. We're going to start with the Jameson Black Barrel. So this is just aged longer than regular Jameson. The nose is Jameson.
It smells like Jameson. Weird.
It's sweeter. I smell a little bit of vanilla.
It's been quite a long time since I've had just a shot of Jameson.
Right.
So I don't exactly remember what all the notes in that are like.
But it's definitely like...
Nor have I ever fully examined a shot of Jameson because...
it's a shot of
Jameson. But...
However, this definitely... I mean, knowing how generic Jameson is meant to be, this smells a lot more complex.
For sure.
And it's definitely got some of the sweet... It's like a dry sweetness.
Yeah, it's almost caramely, but not really. It's kind of...
It's like a little caramely, a little vanilla. It's nothing super strong. It's just generally sweet.
Mm.
But it's got a nice little bit of warmth.
There's a little bit, but not a ton. And it's like, that goes down real smooth. It doesn't...
Like I said, the best way to describe it is that it almost like spreads out across your mouth and then like evaporates. It's so light, but it's still flavorful. It's definitely, I'm getting sugar. Definitely getting a little like sweet vanilla.
Yeah, you get the sugar and the vanilla, and then
a tiny bit of oak. Tiny bit. That's coming in more a little bit on the finish for me. And it tastes like it smelled.
Yeah, and I could see...
And it tastes as light as it looks. I mean, this is a pretty light looking whiskey. That's like a gold more than it is like an amber, from the whiskeys we've been trying. But
yeah, this is really good.
It's very smooth to be a daily sipper if you want something that you could just pour a glass of or put it in a drink and not even think about it. I could easily see this being really good in drinks where you don't want to taste alcohol at all.
Yeah.
Because I can definitely see the sweet notes coming out, but the actual ethanol and the actual burn being very easily overpowered. But, I mean, this makes regular Jameson crap.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it is crap, but, like, if you were to have these two side by side, you would want to dump the Jameson after trying this.
Absolutely.
Alright, so now let's take a look at the Stout Edition of the Jameson cask mix. So,
not a whole lot on the nose.
Yeah, it's very unoffensive. It's just there. I'm not getting nothing at all.
Yeah, it's just...
Now, it is worth noting that this is aired out for a while, so that could have an effect.
I love everything that the stout did to this.
Agreed.
I mean, I adore stouts. This tastes exactly like how I wanted this to taste.
Right. It basically replaced the more generic flavors of Jameson with the traditional, like a typical flavor profile of a stout.
Yeah,
but it's light. It's not. It doesn't taste like you're drinking a stout. It just has the notes.
It's light, but it has the notes. Like I'm getting a chocolate note. I'm getting a little bit of I'm definitely getting a hoppy note to it. It's really like
the chocolate is the most pronounced of what I'm getting, in my opinion. There's definitely a close second is the hops, but it's like when I say that, I don't mean we're getting a ton of it. It's just enough that's the flavor profile, but it's not. It doesn't taste like you're drinking a stout.
Yeah,
you can tell this is a whiskey.
And there's a lot of chocolate on the finish.
Mm-hmm. And it's like a milk chocolate too. It's not like a dark chocolate like a lot of the wine finished whiskeys tend to have, especially like if you use a Cabernet finished wine or Cabernet finished bourbon.
Yeah.
You get a lot of those dark chocolate notes. This is a very milk chocolate.
This is good.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say it's also at 80 proof.
It is, in fact. I looked a minute ago.
I think all three of these Jamesons are, which is good for comparison purposes, honestly.
I never thought I'd say it was hoppy about a whiskey, but this is fucking hoppy.
Like, it doesn't... I mean, I guess I'm comparing it to the Wiggle hopped.
I don't think I've had the Wiggle hops.
Well, I have that. We're not doing it today, but we can definitely... I would love to compare it to this, though, now that I think about that. But, yeah, it's definitely hops on the nose. This is the IPA edition, by the way. I realized I didn't actually introduce this one.
You know, that tastes exactly like I'd expect it to.
Yeah, it's like... It literally tastes like a hopped whiskey, but not like hops is the flavor.
Yeah.
I don't hate this.
You know, I really dislike IPAs. I've never had an IPA that I've enjoyed. This is better than I ever expected it to be, but it tastes exactly like I expected it to, if that makes any sense.
I mean, this is one where I can't go into flavor notes because the flavor notes are IPA. It's light, like it has a weird almost sweetness to it for me.
Yeah.
I can't place what it is. It's just it tastes like hops, but it tastes sweet.
Yeah.
It's the sweetness lingers too.
100%.
Like the rest of the finish goes away, the sweetness sticks around.
And I didn't expect sweetness from this.
Me either. I expected
bitterness and hops.
No, but I think the fact that it's finished in it just gives it some of the flavor, but doesn't really give it the sort of bitterness that you would get from hops or from, something oaky or something tannic. It's definitely... I actually kind of like this.
Yeah, I do too. Surprisingly.
I like IPAs. I expected it to be like the Wiggle hopped, where it's a hops bomb. This isn't. This literally just tastes like you have a little bit of hops flavor, but it definitely adds a different level of sweetness to it. This is actually solid. It's also only $30 in PA, so that's like...
I have to say, out of the three, my favorite is the Stout.
I might have to agree.
I love the flavor profile of the Stout. I love the chocolate finish.
Mm-hmm.
This is a close second.
I didn't think that the Black Barrel would be my least favorite of the three, but I think
agree,
that's just because it's so light. But...
And that's not to say, like, the Black Barrel is a really, really good whiskey. It's
like,
just...
I haven't tried one of these and, like, regretted it. Or, like, thought I wouldn't replace it. I think I would replace all three of these.
Absolutely.
The Black Barrel I might be hesitant on just because it's the higher price, but because it's $42 in PA. But the IPA and the Stout Edition, I think, hold a place on my shelf of non-American whiskeys easily.
Yeah, I think that the flavor profiles that you get out of both this and the Stout are entirely unique. And that's why I like them so much.
It doesn't taste like you have a stout whiskey or an IPA whiskey. It tastes like they're reminiscent of each, where you kind of get the base flavors, but it's not overbearing. It has its own character to it that isn't just an Irish whiskey, and it isn't just like someone took a stout and made it strong.
Yeah,
or an IPA made it strong. That's what the hopped is like. Is it's like someone made a really strong IPA.
Okay, see, I would not like that.
When we try that, you'll do a tiny pour. Because it's worth comparing to this just to see the drastic difference.
Yeah.
But I like that IPA edition more than I expected. I thought I would like the Stout a lot more, but it's a lot closer than I thought.
I'm with you on that 100%.
I know you were thinking you weren't going to like it at all, and here you are putting it above the Black Barrel, which you also really liked.
Yeah, you know what? I went into this as someone...
You can't go wrong with any of these three, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't like IPAs, and I enjoy this. So
and I would love to try... This makes me want to try a cask-strength Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the flavors I'm getting, I'm really excited about, and I would love to have it not cut at all.
Yeah.
And I wish there were uncut versions of the IPA and the stout, but there's no way they make that.
Yeah, and I mean,
It's too niche of a product. They wouldn't make money off it.
Yeah, I'll say this: I was scared of this whiskey because I don't like IPAs. Don't be. It has the reminiscent hoppiness of a craft beer, but it's not overbearing, and it still tastes like a whiskey, and you get a lot of the sweetness that you don't get out of an IPA, and I think that's what I don't like.
Right, the IPAs tend to be drier and more
IPAs
bitter,
tend to be
but that tends to be what they, like, that's what they were trying to appeal to.
Yeah, and I don't like the dry bitter stuff. This is not that, and
This takes the flavor out
Yeah.
of it. It doesn't take the sort of the, I don't want to say the texture, but it doesn't take that sort of bitterness, and it doesn't take the
absolutely
the huge mouth presence that an IPA has compared to other beers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you really cannot go wrong with any of these three. So I'm impressed.